I'm Allie, a paid media expert at Primer with experience delivering results for D2C brands like these. If you're looking for a way to boost conversions on paid social in 2024, you're in the right place. Here's a quick breakdown of what we're going to cover with some time markers that you can jump to if needed. The top 5 rules of D2C subscription ads, our 2024 D2C Ad Creative Teardown, featuring ads from Sunday, Hims, Rocksbox, and Nom Nom, how to test ad creative more efficiently using the outlier method, and how to create landing pages that convert faster with BDQs. Let's start with our top 5 rules of D2C subscription ads. Rule number 1, UGC is essential, but not just any UGC. The D2C landscape is filled with brands trying to lure customers to sign up for subscriptions to new products. It's a really big commitment, even if you have an amazing intro offer, which we'll talk about later. One of the most essential ways to overcome this barrier is to leverage high quality and authentic UGC that provides substantial social proof for your service. This social proof must come from customers or creators who are A, a member of your target audience, or within a demographic that is influential to your audience, B, dynamic and sincere on camera, avoiding the influencer voice, and C, can boost trust by addressing skepticism and key pain points head-on and positioning your product as an authentic solution. Here are some examples of my favorite Primer creators.
Don't you fellas just hate the way you look sometimes? Probably most days, right? Before I found ThreadBeast, I had no fashion sense and I was a stupid loser. Now, I'm just a stupid loser.
Okay, people will not stop complimenting me, and this is the reason. I smell rich, creamy, luxurious, and I'm not just saying that because I think I smell like that. Someone literally just stopped me and told me that's how I smell.
Ladies, if you suffer from hot flashes and night sweats, stick around, you're going to love this. Before finding Phenology's Daily Balance, I was suffering all the menopausal symptoms, including brain fog, fatigue, and thinning hair.
Once you've found the right creators for your brand, we've got a 5-star roster on tap here at Primer, by the way. Here are some additional elements you'll need to maximize the authenticity of your ads. Native text styles. Avoid using branded fonts. You can save that for your landing page. Use voiceover whenever someone is not talking directly to the camera. This is not necessary for every ad, but for most. And then trending sound or no music at all to avoid banner blindness. Overly stocky music screams ad and keeps people scrolling before they even have a chance to absorb your hook. Rule number 2, nail your BDQs. Did you know one of the number 1 reasons customers don't convert is because advertisers often fail to answer buyer decision questions or BDQs? BDQs are essential questions that must be answered before a customer is willing to purchase. They must be answered clearly, early on, and in the right order to maximize conversions. For subscription brands, simply explaining how your subscription works is always a must-have BDQ. The same goes for any intro offer or cancellation policy that makes it easy for customers to try your product with as little risk as possible before making a commitment. Jump to this time marker to learn more about BDQs. Rule number 3, drop your anchor fast. Have you heard of the anchoring effect? This is a cognitive bias that causes us to rely heavily on the first piece of information we are given about a topic. In advertising, that means what we say in the first 3 seconds of our videos takes the lion's share of significance over any messaging that follows. Say, for example, you sell a skincare subscription and your highest value customer is someone with hormonal acne. You have 3 seconds to A, identify your audience, and B, answer the most essential BDQs for that audience, anchoring everything you say after that hook around the idea that your product is the best solution to their unique skincare needs. Too many brands wait too late in their ads to drop their anchor, and they lose precious ad spend testing creative that is unlikely to convert. Do not make this mistake. Rule number 4, don't forget the feels. As direct response advertisers, it's our number 1 priority to capture attention within 3 seconds of an ad and drive instant conversions as often as possible. That being said, your customers are people, and people do not like feeling like they're being sold to. So here enters the delicate interplay of creating ads that convert while also appealing to authentic emotions of your audience. There are many ways to appeal to emotion in your ads. The most obvious being in a problem-solution format, that targets a true customer pain point or BDQ.
Child, these wig sites better count their days, because if I buy one more wig that doesn't match the photos, I am suing. Like, either the density is off, the knots are barely bleached, or the pre-plucked wig still has the thickest hairline I've ever seen. Like, I've had enough.
That said, one of the easiest ways to imbue emotion in ads is to leverage auditory and visual cues. This works especially well for more aesthetic-leaning brands. Here's an example.
It's that song and it's like, whoa, like my love. But it's more like,
for high-SKU D2C brands, an easy way to improve ROAS is to name featured products, either in copy or directly on the ad itself. That can often feel pretty transactional though. So in this format, you can see we're really leaning on the visual elements of each product with subtle naming and letting the music tell the story with a clear CTA at the end. Here's another example which is particularly effective for subscription brands. Every brand has a different emotional advantage. The best way to identify yours is to, again, figure out your BDQs and appeal to the emotions at their core. Rule number 5, make your CTA pop. Though end cards still have their place, we're seeing a much greater push to more native calls to action. That means now more than ever, you need to direct creators toward clear and compelling CTAs to close out your ads. A strong CTA should call back to your anchor, leverage authentic social proof, and encourage immediate action whenever possible. This was really, really key. If you have an awesome intro offer, this is a great place to include it, along with key points in your ad copy. Here are some examples we love for D2C subscription brands. To recap, leverage social proof with high-quality UGC, answer your customers' BDQs, hook your ideal customer within 3 seconds, appeal to emotion, and use compelling CTAs to create D2C ads that convert. Next up, we've got Primer's 2024 D2C Ad Teardown. After almost a decade of creating and testing ads for hundreds of top D2C brands on Meta and now on TikTok, we've learned a thing or two about what works. And maybe even more importantly, we've learned what doesn't work. So now we're going to look at a few of our favorite D2C subscription partners and tear down ads that were absolutely killing it a few years ago, but would not work today. Then we're going to give you some updated ad inspo to improve ROAS in 2024. Please note that we're focusing primarily on Meta best practices. However, keep in mind that Meta is becoming more like TikTok by the day. The majority of these insights are relevant to both platforms. Let's jump right into it with one of our favorite D2C brands, Sunday, and we'll tear down this old ad. So the hook is okay, but it doesn't really entice you to keep watching. It also takes about 6 seconds to get to the product. We ideally would get there within the first 3 seconds. There's kind of stocky, more brand footage with large text boxes. It's a real branded feel, brand fonts, not very native. Really obvious kind of stocky music. We don't have any voiceover. The BDQs are actually really good, but we need to get social proof into this video much sooner. The CTA is pretty cute, but it's not really calling for immediate action. It's not driving urgency. And coming in at 34 seconds long, that's a bit much. We kind of want to keep it 15 to 20 seconds on Meta. So here's how we would update it for 2024.
How did I go from this to this?
In this version, we've worked in a strong before and after hook while still featuring the brand within the first 3 seconds, which is huge. We've got amazing UGC footage. We're using voiceover throughout. This TikTok robot voice works really, really great for some brands like Sunday. We've got trending music. We're still answering those core BDQs. And at just about 15 seconds long, we're really hitting that length sweet spot. Next up, we've got one of the fastest growing D2C health and wellness brands of the decade, Hims. Let's tear down this old ad. The hook is okay. I think we could make it a little stronger to improve that thumb stop ratio. We don't have music or voiceover, which is a big red flag here in 2024. We have lots of animated transitions. It immediately screams ad. It's very branded footage, not UGC, not native. We do have some good BDQs, but we're missing a few, like what is the product, how does it work, what are the results? It's more brand forward and not very direct response forward. So I think we could add a few more seconds to answer more BDQs. And here's how we would update this ad for 2024.
Hims totally transformed my hairline.
This comment box hook is a consistent top performer. We see it work across industries. It's a great tool to use in Frame 1. We've got trending music, quick cuts between the footage. We added in a few more BDQs, explaining more how it works and how long it takes to get to those results. But we're not making the video too long. We're still under 20 seconds. And the new CTA is really key. It's calling out the details of the offer more clearly. If you work in the beauty or fashion space, you're going to want to pay attention to this one. Roxbox has seen monumental growth with Primer's native ad strategy, so let's break it down. We're going to tear down this old ad. Roxbox has been ahead of the UGC game for a long time. Honestly, this is a great ad, and it drove great performance for a really long time. But things have changed. So let's see what we would do differently to perform in 2024. The quick cuts at the beginning of the video are great, but we're lacking social proof or a really clear hook that entices you to keep watching. The unboxing footage is really great. This is very solid UGC, but it's dragged down a little bit by non-trending music. Roxbox is a really trendy brand, so we can go trendy on the music and the sounds. Ads for brands like Roxbox don't need a lot of copy typically, but we're sort of missing an opportunity here to call out some of the key BDQs, like a little more about how the membership works, which is really essential for strong ROAS. CTA is fun, it's pretty enticing, but it would be great here again to call out the intro offer and the value you get from their membership. So here's how we would update the ad for 2024.
Y'all, let me introduce you to Roxbox. These earrings are Love AJ.
You can see this is really engaging. It's a first-person testimonial from a creator in their core demographic. The native hook is really strong. It's addressing BDQs right from the jump. The quick cuts between footage with the consistent voiceover is really, really key. It doesn't linger on one frame. It shows a lot of product at multiple angles. The video is a little longer than what we typically recommend on Meta, but this was actually launched on TikTok, so it's perfect. We might cut it down a little bit to launch on Meta. The CTA details really clear next steps to drive immediate action and urgency. 10 out of 10 love this ad. And last, but certainly not least, we've got Nom Nom. Anyone working in the food and beverage industry, for pets or for humans, is going to want to see this. Let's tear down this old ad. We're leading with really branded footage, showing a woman. It doesn't lead with a pet or lead with the product. If you've got a baby or puppy UGC, you've got gold. You need to use it. The large branded font takes up so much of the frame. We don't have music or voiceover, no social proof. It does do a pretty good job of answering BDQs, but it doesn't really hit much of an emotional note. It's a little long at 32 seconds, and the CTA doesn't inspire immediate action or drive urgency. Here's how we would update it for 2024.
If you care about your dog's health, stop feeding them this.
We're leading with dog footage, always a winner, and we have an emotional hook while also showing the product in the first 3 seconds. These are all really important aspects of Frame 1. We've got native font, we've got music and voiceover. We're using social proof in the form of a first-person testimonial, and we're answering key BDQs in under 20 seconds for the entire video. So, you're ready to improve ROAS in 2024 with some new high-conversion ad creative. Now you can just A/B test some ads and watch the wins roll in, right? Wrong. Let me introduce you to the outlier method. The outlier method is an ad strategy designed to quickly identify wins, pause underperforming ads, and scale spend to winners while maximizing efficiency on paid social. This requires a really high volume of creative to work. a minimum of 3 to 10 ads per sprint, 2 sprints per month. Outliers are generally ads that perform 2 to 3 times better than the rest in their campaign. They should have better performance than your account average by at least 10%, and they should also have at least 10 conversions each. Because of the high volume of creative needed to test using the outlier method, you have to move really fast. We don't have time to wait for statistical significance. There's money at stake. Once you've paused your mediocre performing ads and allocated spend to your outliers, keep scaling your winning creative by changing just one of the following elements and leave the rest of the video as is. Again, the key to finding wins using the outlier method is launching a lot of ads. That means you need to be able to dedicate resources to 2 creative sprints per month, 1 big idea and 1 scaling idea. An ideal testing calendar would look something like this. Now you've got the winning ads, you've got the winning ad testing strategy, you're set, right? Not quite. One of the number 1 reasons we see brands fail to hit their conversion goals on paid social has nothing to do with ads and everything to do with landing pages. Landing pages fail 99% of the time because they fail to address BDQs. Here's why. Imagine you're buying a car and the dealer only tells you the color and seating capacity of everything on the lot. You're likely to walk away and head to a dealer that leads with more essential information, like year, make, and model. Effective BDQs keep your customers on the lot, i.e. your landing page, and as long as you're targeting the correct audience, exponentially increase their likelihood of purchase. Here's how to write effective BDQs for your brand in 4 steps. Step 1. Understand your key buyer persona. Before writing BDQs, it's essential to know who you're writing them for. Most brands have more than 1 persona, which means you can end up with multiple sets of BDQs. You're going to want to focus on the key buyer persona you plan on targeting with your ads. Stay focused on where your spend is allocated. Remember, if you have multiple personas, they will likely have different BDQs. Going back to our initial car buyer example, here's how you might write BDQs for 2 different audiences in the market for the same car. Step 2. Brainstorm BDQs for your key persona. This is your time to get creative. Turn off distractions and get into the mindset of your customer. What are the essential questions they need answered before they're willing to purchase? You might already have some FAQs you can build on, but be mindful. BDQs are not FAQs. BDQs are questions that must be answered on your landing page, not buried in the footer deep in your customer journey. Here are some things we recommend to get in the mindset. Read customer reviews. Revisit your purchase funnel and write down the questions answered in each step. See how competitors are positioning similar products. Prompt ChatGPT to brainstorm additional ideas. We recommend you treat ChatGPT like a new intern. Don't assume it knows too much about your brand, but it can be really helpful with the right guidance. Step 3. Organize your BDQs. Once you've established your questions, it's time to give them some hierarchy. What needs to come first and what can wait? We recommend breaking BDQs into 2 tiers. Tier 1 is questions that must be answered before a customer can make a purchase. Tier 2 is critical information that is helpful to understand more about the value and benefits of the product, but can be addressed later in the funnel. For subscription brands, it's essential to explain how your subscription works and the ease of cancellation and money-back guarantee in your BDQs, preferably in Tier 1. Failing to do so will often have a negative impact on ROAS. Step 4. Test your funnel. When a conversion funnel doesn't perform, it's usually because BDQs aren't being answered in the right order, so customers don't feel confident buying. The greater the commitment, the more important it is to nail your BDQs. Look at the full funnel to determine where your BDQs are falling short. For example, your CTR is good, but people aren't adding to cart? Focus on Tier 1. You probably answered 1 or 2 essential BDQs, but you're still missing key benefits needed to get your customers to take the next step. Add to cart is good, but people aren't completing the purchase? Focus on Tier 2. What are those unsexy things people need to know, like shipping and return policies, that will give them a reduced sense of risk and increase their willingness to purchase? Once you get your BDQs figured out, Review all ads and landing pages to ensure these questions are answered in all of your creative in the appropriate order. List them on top of your briefs, tape them to your desk, do whatever you need to do to keep them top of mind all the time. And that's a wrap for our 2024 Ad Teardown. I hope this was helpful and you're excited to start testing ad creative that converts. If you need some help bringing your ideas to life, that's what we're here for. Go here to schedule a free growth consultation with the Primer team today.